federal government is going to drop migrants off in Texas, we will provide them free bus rides to our nation's capital. That is a bus with 2 or 3 dozen migrants on board. We believe
just rolled into Washington.
It just rolled into Washington. I think they initially wanted to drop off the migrants at the U.S. Capitol, but I think as close as they could get would be near Union Station.
They're being processed on the bus.
They're being processed. They're inside right now.
It kind of looks like a Columbus Circle right there. So that is what Jen Psaki referred to as, well, that's just a publicity stunt.
Nope, it's not.
That's not going to happen. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is happening right now.
But only 3 dozen? 36? We're going to be having 18,000 a day.
Didn't he say, well, the governor said he has 900 buses ready to go, I believe. Was that the number?
Yeah.
It was hundreds of buses ready to go. So this is a wider shot of that bus. And inside you have these migrants from Texas. They all, and the governor of Texas said, I will ask them. I'm not going to force them to go, but if they want to go to D.C., we're offering them free transportation.
Yeah. You know, Ron DeSantis also announced yesterday that he's got $12 million of money in the new budget for Florida. $12 million.
Someone's getting off.
Yeah, so that's the guy that processed them. It looks like one of the DEA agents.
So anyway, $12 million for Florida's Department of Transportation to relocate people who were dropped off in Florida. And now
this guy has a backpack.
At least he has a mask on. He's being responsible as he sneaks into our country illegally. So there you go.
That was in Texas. Now they've been transported here.
They're into our country illegally.
I don't know why they would be. I don't know that Border Patrol would be processing them in Washington D.C. They've already been processed.
Maybe just to get names, find out who's on board,
Maybe.
that kind of thing.
It could be somebody from one of the NGOs who's trying to provide them with, okay, when you're here in Washington, D.C., go to this location if you need help.
Or, the NGOs who are funded by taxpayer dollars. These are private organizations like Catholic Charities who are getting tens of thousands of dollars in order to give everyone a fresh set of clothing, toiletries, and a phone. This way they...
Good on his promise to send illegal immigrants from Texas to Washington. The first bus dropping migrants off just blocks away from the Capitol. Abbott's move coming days after the Biden administration announced it would put an end to Title 42, which gave border agents the authority to quickly turn away large groups who tried to enter illegally due to COVID concerns. And now the chaos at the border is only going to get worse. One estimate says 140,000 migrants are waiting to cross once Title 42 is lifted. Jesse, I have to say, I wasn't sure, since it has to be voluntary, if these migrants would say, yeah, sure, I want to go to Washington, D.C. and be dropped off at the steps of the Capitol. And sure enough, Lucas Tomlinson, our reporter, was there watching it. There they are, getting off the bus. Looked like they had a decent ride. And it's not these migrants' fault. It's we have no system.
Well, and Abbott dropped them off right in front of the Fox Bureau.
Yeah.
Smart move by Governor Abbott. He knows what he's doing there. And a couple of these guys are from Venezuela. They said, all right, fine, I'll go to D.C. You know the first thing they did when they got to D.C.? They registered as lobbyists. First thing they did. And they're at Cafe Milano right now trying to twist Manchin's arm on Build Back Better. I swear to God.
Not Capitol Grill?
Very, very. They're going there tonight.
L'Oreal Plaza.
And they dress so nicely. Athleisure. One guy had matching Nike head to toe. The kicks were clean. If you're fleeing a war-torn country seeking asylum, you think you're going to die, and you show up looking that good, no one's going to buy that.
As soon as they get here, we dress them.
We put those clothes on these people. Oh, come on, Americans don't dress this well.
They don't give it to us.
Look at that guy's shirt. Look at the guy's skinny jeans. You can't show up to America claiming you're fearing for your life dressed that well. It's not going to fly. And especially, they don't like stunts. Biden says, oh, we don't like stunts. The Democrats love stunts. Nancy's ripping up Trump's State of the Union. They're laughing their butts off when they do the Trump blimp. Oh, that's so funny. Come on.
Don't you remember
this stunt to shame the president?
Remember the Texas Democrats who fled?
Oh, yeah. They don't like stunts at all.
That was a
not
stunt.
at all.
Here's the other thing, Greg, that they get here and then they just get to go wherever they want.
I know this is. It is a contrast to what's happening with Ukraine, right?
We admitted legally 12 Ukrainians last month.
12. Yeah. Why is my mother-in-law not on that bus?
Good point.
I don't know. Anyway, but it's an interesting phenomenon. This immigration problem is the same issue with crime and inflation. It's the problems get worse because they're not exposed, because the media acts as like a consequence blanket. They just throw themselves over the outcomes of the ruinous policies, and the malignant neglect never gets covered. So what Abbott does, which is very clever, is he kind of forces them to cover it, right? He sends the migrants to D.C., and the media outside Fox is in a quandary. Do they cover this? Which means then their audience sees the original problem, the original neglect, or do they ignore it and just Abbott continues with his plan, which connects the D.C. population directly with their destructive policies. So it's a very clever, I don't even think it's a stunt. I think it's a smart move. It looks like the migrants are happy to be here. I can tell that they were smiling with their eyes.
They were smizing.
They're smizing. Everybody's learning to do that now with the mask.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm just glad they're wearing masks.
Yes.
Geraldo.
Well, I think that Governor Abbott is a great stuntsman. I think that it's not necessarily a negative. He's doing what he thinks is right for his constituents in Texas. I think between Abbott and the drones, there's no averting our eyes. It's an enormous problem on the southern border. There's no getting around the fact. You mentioned Venezuela. You can mention any of 200 countries. People want to live in America. Everybody wants to live here. You need some kind of system that regularizes, that normalizes. I make one point. Here in this vast city, you had this one incident with this knucklehead, this terrorist here. When was the last time you heard of an undocumented immigrant committing a horrible crime? They are disproportionately law-abiding, other than the offense of coming across
One
the
of them
border.
killed
Are
Kate
you
Steinle.
kidding?
Yeah.
Well, there's one of them.
And the
one of them-
DUI?
Stop it.
You know, one of them
just happened
I
to a bunch
don't
of people
care.
on Long
What
Island.
about the per capita? What about the fact that?
So how, you want to admit 20, 30 million are here?
No, I don't want to, but I want you to know that these people, as you see, only want to come and work.
How about the
Unlike
Latin
many
Kings?
Native
How about
Americans, they want to
MS-13?
work. They
We
want to-
just read about
they're
MS-13
faith-based.
chopping
They're
up
family
people